So tonight's episode, yeah, no, he was absolutely right. Free to play. It's just me, man. We got no audio. Ah, fun. Can you hear me now? Audio now. Alright. Yeah, so welcome to the Technical Difficulties podcast. I'm joined by, and it seems we're having a lot of difficulties. As you can probably see, the space looks a bit different. There's been some flooding going on in the studio, and so we've had to shift across and kind of make do with what we got right here. Just realised we've got a one of those moisture catchers just sitting in the corner of the screen. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. So how is everyone? Anything that anyone has to go onto the podcast at the moment? Because honestly, I came in here with an update on the fact that everything's going wrong. Also, Blake's back! Yeah!
Hi. Been a little bit. And if I'm here, things aren't looking too good.
he tried to get away from me, but now he has to be back.
Yeah. So, quick update before the episode starts. So we're actually having a major technical difficulty.
Yes.
So, for everyone who's been watching, that we have a studio. We're actually in a different corner of the studio. There's actually like a door here that you could never really see before. Jacob, what's going
on? As I said, the whole studio is just starting to flood. So we're going to be doing a short one today because we're going to have to, change out towels so the whole place doesn't flood. Other than that, it's just with the storms that have been happening, everything's just kind of very quickly going downhill, and we're making the best of what we got right now.
Yeah. This is not the first time it's happened. It has happened once before during the big storms that we had in Australia earlier this year.
Yeah.
And during that time, we weren't live streaming. I was defending the fort, what you'll say, of the studio itself.
I came in a few times and there was just like shit everywhere, just pulled out.
Well, I was at work one time and you came in and it was
just ridiculous.
It was just flooded.
It's one of those things we've got to kind of figure out how to stop and stop it as soon as we can, and then we'll just be back the way we need to be going, or the way we were going at least.
Yeah, and all that's going to do with time. So this is one microphone.
Yeah.
So the reason why the mic's echo is not actually feedback. We have an audio system which actually works, but what happened, another technical difficulty, was that one of my RAM sticks died without any of us knowing.
Yeah.
So it went to 8 gigs of RAM, and this audio system turns 4 mics into 1. So there's no echo, and currently I need to fix that. And this is all self-budgeted. The reason why I don't use this is because few of our players talk really quietly, and so there needs to be a mic near them.
And then there's people like me who you pick up across the other end of the studio when I'm talking normally.
Exactly.
Just from the cadence of my voice, it just picks up everywhere. I could be standing outside, say something, and it'll generally pick me up.
Yeah, we have tried just one microphone, and
it went alright.
It was okay, but I'm super silent.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the problem when, yes, the players are ones doing the narrative, but also the Dungeon Master is doing a lot more narrative.
Yeah, and without knowing what's being thrown at us, you're just kind of getting our reaction to it.
Correct.
So, we hear that the troll's coming and screaming at us. You don't hear anything about a troll or the scream, which you want to hear the scream, trust me. And then all of a sudden we're at the front door ready to fight the damn thing, and then the screen goes black because you didn't hear anything that he was saying about, okay, we're cutting the stream here, and...
So I actually have answers for all the technical difficulties that have been going on.
Yes.
So the echo existed when this thing was there. That's what created the echo.
Because it was picking him up in general,
yeah,
we were getting the audio from his microphone as well as just a tiny bit from the player mic. And the microphone is a little one's clip on your shirt.
Yeah.
We started out with those.
So lapel mics is their technical term. Yes, we did start with those. The biggest problem with that is if you look at the pricing of a full lapel mic system, for one, is a lot, and this is self-funded. We did start with them. We started with them, and we're thinking on moving to Discord to manage all the audio and everything like that. But they echo.
They do
worse.
They echo worse because they're still picking up everyone that's sitting next to you.
Yeah. So the bubble creates smaller. There is a fix to all. Through a certain radius, but once the players move from, instead of being across from each other to on a diagonal angle, so instead of being like that to this, the microphones will be here instead of here. So it does allow me to do the bubble stuff.
So I don't know how many of you know, the actual table that we're playing at now is just a rectangle.
Yeah.
So it's a long rectangle, and it doesn't actually have a lot of separation between the two sides. So having us be more spread out and sitting here and here rather than next to each other like that, it's just gonna fix most, if not all, of the audio problems. Because we're just gonna be far enough away that we can actually set up the microphones to have a bubble that's big enough to hear the quieter people, but also not pick up the people on the other side of the table.
And we do test it. So beforehand, before the session goes live, we actually record ourselves playing with the same stuff that you're actually watching. And it works. It goes fantastically. But the moment we go live,
Everything just stops.
Yeah, it just decides to stop itself. And it's not about internet connection, because the internet connection is very good here. It does have a lot to do with restricting the bit rate and everything that we have.
Yeah.
That's why the move.
The extra RAM will help.
Yeah.
Because the computer will be able to handle it better.
Yeah, and which means that
until that point, it's just kind of an issue that we can't quite solve just yet. Just because we need to, obviously live our lives, and so funding this as well, we're just kind of like trying to fix the things we can fix immediately. And we're working towards it.
Yeah, I set myself broke a lot to do this stuff. But yeah, you were correct. The audio does jump in and out and whatnot. And that's because sometimes, so with audio, because throughout all of lockdown and all this stuff, I've kind of just been fighting a losing battle with this thing. Yeah. And also other mics as well. It's like when Jacob and I do the Technical Difficulties podcast, we have a mic here, and it doesn't echo. We're not using a computer system. When the episodes were cutting, that's when we're using a computer system. Yeah. And that's when
they were ending early.
Yeah.
It's because the RAM stick was just getting overloaded, and so it was just going, okay, bye-bye.
The CPU was heading up, and I was using all the memory it could, and then it just couldn't last longer than an hour and a half. That was because one of the RAM sticks just crapped itself.
Yeah. So ideally we will move back to the 2 microphone setup, but until we can deal with the computer shutting itself down,
correct,
it's just not going to be, it's not a fix that we can do yet.
Yeah, because the echo you hear from this is just from the open space. This place is huge.
Yeah, and so it's...
And then with the other mics, the reason why they do echo, I don't know. They're condenser mics. So I'm expanding their radius, which sometimes get caught in the bubble. So when people both lean forward or lean between 2 mics, both mics are going to pick them up.
Yeah.
With the system that I have, and when I fix my RAM stick, which will be the first thing I fix over building the new table, the RAM stick's the first thing I'm going to fix, because it will just immediately fix the problem. We know this because when we film the episodes, the upkeep, there's no echo
Yes,
at
that's
all,
right.
because this computer system is basically a why can't I remember?
It's a mixer.
It's a mixer.
Yeah.
It is a mixer, and it takes whatever microphones I have plugged into it and makes them one microphone.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it will never conflict with each other. And we've tested the shit out of it, and yes, it does.
It works perfectly. It makes fantastic audio. The only problem is it's at the moment overloading the computer when we're trying to run the stream as well, because it's just too many things open.
So the reason why it's doing it again is because I didn't have a lot of time to set up this microphone.
Oh yeah, this is like shabbled together out of like bits and pieces. I think this microphone hasn't been set up since the last time we were using it on a game stream.
So I'm gonna explain to you guys why. Yes, it is the same microphone, but it's not set up for the stream. So when you have OBS open, a different
set of settings.
Yeah,
different
different
set of settings and different filters and stuff that it goes through.
Yeah. And the moment I plug it into a new USB port, it becomes a new microphone.
Yeah.
So when that happens, it has new settings. So I have added the noise gate and all those other settings, but what that has currently done is said, okay, you haven't tweaked it because we didn't do any testing. We filmed the upkeep, and then we had to go straight to this because of everything we're dealing with. There's literal water coming through, and it's not small, it's puddled.
Yeah.
It is quite a problem that I need to fix as soon as possible. In saying that though, we won't be filming D&D this Wednesday and this Friday.
Yes.
The reason why is because the rain's meant to slow down on Wednesday, which is fine. That's why we're not doing that one.
So that means hopefully by Friday we can get it all cleaned up.
Yeah.
And then
if it's all cleaned up
Monday,
by,
we should be
well,
back to normal.
Well, the thing is, if it's cleaned up by Thursday, Friday will go.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then Friday.
We're trying to not be too optimistic and say, all right, hopefully we'll be back Friday, and then we just don't stream.
Exactly.
Because if it gets to that point, we're not going to be able to give any update on it, because that's going to be the next thing that we stream.
Correct.
So rather than have people expecting something to come out, we'd rather just say, okay, we're not doing Friday, tentatively. If you see that we do pop up on the Friday, then great.
Yeah.
If not, don't expect it.
Yeah, because this
Turn your notifications on.
This studio is quite big. It is so we're in room A, and there's a bathroom, a kitchen, a workshop studio, which I'm still in the middle of, like, we've gotten all the studio sorted out. And then there's a storage unit, which is right behind me technically. Through this door leads to the rest of everything.
Yeah.
Um
So right now we're literally sitting right near the hallway that's going to lead to the rest of it, whereas normally we're on the other side of the room.
Yeah. So another thing as well is this place isn't fully furnished at all. In this place we have so much ideas for how to fully furnish it, but a lot of that takes money.
And also the wall's not leaking.
Correct. I am the only one that actually puts a lot of funding to this.
Yeah.
Players and all that do help out here and there, but that's why it becomes very difficult. And with outside stuff as well, like cars and stuff.
Yeah. There's just been a lot of stuff going on at the moment, so we're doing it the best we can.
Yeah.
We will get there.
We technically started this early.
Yeah.
If we didn't start this early, I would have more time.
Yeah.
To do everything.
But that being
Because
said,
that's
we
another
didn't want to keep pushing starting everything back. Like, everything at all. Like, in general.
We were meant to start this in 2020.
We were. So, the fact that we pushed it back to where we did, we were already late to the game. And so, at that point, it was just, okay, so if we tweak this last thing, then we'll be good.
Correct.
And then we find something else. Oh, so if we tweak this last thing, then we'll be good. Then we'll find something else.
And then one day...
You gotta just start.
Yeah, one day I just had a thought, and I said, you know what? Let's do this. He came over, and I just had a setup ready. It looked
I came over and yelled at you while you were fixing something.
Yeah.
That's why we started.
So what's going on? What's getting done in the workshop?
Nothing at the moment.
So the workshop is where I'll be doing all my building videos. It's where a lot of things that I build will be. And also
You're moving the painting and stuff in there too.
yeah,
aren't you?
the painting, all that stuff. So right now it's technically the walls because the walls are brick. In there.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I'm filling it up with the in the episode you see like a black wall that's insulation. That is what I'm putting in there as well. I've got a bit of it. I just need a bit more. And also in there, I need to build a like an extension table because I have two cabinets that are far apart. But I want to build something in between that is my workbench essentially.
Yeah.
And
somewhere that's accessible as well,
Yeah.
because at the moment it's just being used as sort of a second storage room, and there's just stuff everywhere. You can't really move
Yeah.
through it effectively.
And that's also where the roller door is to
Yeah.
the whole studio.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to. That's also where I'm going to be building my table. I will be doing a building video on how I'm building the table.
You are doing how you're doing
Yeah.
the table.
I'm going
Okay.
to. Because it's just so that way there's an inside of it.
Yeah, of course. We weren't sure what was going on, and I think it came up in the Wednesday stream that we did. Someone was asking about, are you going to be showing how the table's built?
Yeah.
So we were just saying, like, look, ask Blake. Blake's going to be the one that's in charge of building, because
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing. He's the one
Yeah.
that's come up with the designs. If he
Three,
doesn't want to film it, he's not going to film it.
3 of us are actually French polishers. So
Not me.
what that is where we furnish and build stuff. And that's how part of the table was, like the current table we're playing was furnished and built. It just wasn't done very well because we just wanted to hurry up and get it done.
Yeah.
This
So
one I'll
before
take.
we got this table, we were literally just playing on trestle tables, just outside.
Yeah.
So like, it came to a point where Blake was like, "Hey guys, guess what? I'm building a shed. Come over and help put up a shed." We're like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah.
All right. So we put up a shed, and then next minute he's like, "Oh, by the way, the shed's actually for playing D&D. Hey, look, there's a table in here."
It's not
Like,
just,
wait, what?
it wasn't just that. So they came nuts. And it was a trestle table. And not trestle table. It was a color bond shed. And we insulated the whole thing. There was a window. There were cabinets in there. It was fully fully
There's a
blocked off.
freaking air conditioner in there.
Yeah, there was an air conditioner. There was LED lighting throughout the whole roof because there was no physical electricity in there.
An Aussie lander.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Blue, an Aussie lander. What do we do? We do technical difficulties. Aussie lander. We're from Aussie land.
Yeah.
We're from Australia.
I think they said London.
Yeah.
We
I'm
come from
blind.
London.
I'm blind. I just thought it said lander.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Things don't work.
This whole thing has been very ambitious. We are just nobodies who are trying to create D&D content in the best way we can, but we keep hitting roadblocks that we keep passing, but there's always another roadblock that just gets put in front of us.
But like, look, this is also just why we call it the Technical Difficulties Podcast, because we know that we're gonna have problems arising throughout it, and even throughout the main streams, and so we can just kind of, talk shit about them here and be like, yeah, we make mistakes.
The day that everybody saw the studio for the first time was something that I'll always remember, because
It was mad.
no one could believe it. No one could believe that we went from playing in a shed to actually just owning a studio.
Yeah.
And Vortexus, I'm just going to let you know, make sure whatever shed you're going to buy, it has all the pieces, that all your friends are willing to help. Like, everyone I invited was willing to help, but make sure you have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because this took 2 days to build, and then all the inside and the installation and stuff like that, it was just crazy, took ages. It looked good at the end of it, but there's a lot of issues you got to work out, and I'm going to tell you pre-ahead. Make sure that you're putting it on top of a decking or something that won't leak or flood. There was a few sessions where we flooded and we had to go over to a friend's house and we had to play it like his house.
So like, worse than that, it didn't.
Yeah, so make sure that you actually make like a bit of a trench so that way it has somewhere to run out.
Yep.
Make sure that the table you're going to build, a trestle table will be plenty fine. If you go to build your own table, make sure it's about the same size as trestle table in width, because the width is going to be the biggest problem. It is expensive. $2,000.
And then make sure you know that the entire thing's been sealed up. Because even after
we sealed it,
a lot of sealing and a lot of like
sometimes they would leak.
Like a lot of work done on it post building as well, there was still leaks. We had to have a tarp over the thing on it.
Yeah, if I had one thing to change, it would be that I wouldn't have built my table. I would have just used a trestle table.
Yeah.
Because a trestle table I can pack up.
You can pack it up, but then also all the water that did fall in there would have just fallen straight through the decking.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would have been fine.
But yes, it was great. This is why you don't hire goblins to build.
Look,
you're not
there was goblins building the shed. Yeah.
But yes, it is
right.
It is a brilliant idea, because there's one thing that we discovered, because there's always been this idea that we're going to do this and this might be fun, and we don't know how long we're going to do it for.
Yeah.
We
plan to do it for a long time. If it doesn't, we've still got all this shit sitting around where we're just playing in our own time.
Exactly. Like I told people that don't expect us to get super big, super quick, and do all this stuff. It takes effort, it takes time, and you do everything.
Yeah.
And we're just happy for the people that do watch us. That's why we do it every week.
We have ambitions that we're working towards that are like, only ever going to come to fruition if we do get really big.
Yeah.
But that's just us liking what we're doing.
Yeah. It's not us going, oh, but think of the benefits. It's like, it's not even that. It's always just been, we enjoy this.
Yeah.
Let's show people our games. We laugh so hard during them. But then, we had lockdowns and stuff, and that's where everyone kind of fell out of practice, and then I kept pushing and pushing. So that's everyone's kind of getting back into that flow again.
We did try and play over lockdown, but it just didn't work.
Yeah. It does. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. But the shed, the reason why it's a brilliant idea is because one thing everyone has a bit of trouble with is understanding where are we going to play D&D next.
Yeah, if you set up one central location, it definitely helps everyone.
It helps everyone, and everyone knows where they're going to meet up. Yeah. So, and it's brilliant. It holds everything. Make sure you have a lock on it.
And I guess the other part as well is if it's a shed that's built for it, then people automatically feel invested enough that they are like, okay, well, you built a shed for us to play in, so I'm not gonna start missing sessions, and I'm not gonna just kind of like flirt with playing. Yeah. I'm gonna be in or I'm gonna be out.
And not just that too, it turned out to be a really good area just to sit around.
Just do other shit. We played cards, we played board games.
Yeah, like if you'd like, I had a no smoking rule in my shed just because it hotboxed it, so it was definitely not. And there's people here that don't smoke.
There was like 3 people in the group that smoked and 3 didn't.
Yeah, so just to keep it up. But yeah, you could.
But then we just had smoke breaks, like it was fine.
Yeah, we just walked out. We actually built a pergola that attached to the shed.
Yeah. We had plans for drinking though, and just doing games where we just drink while we were doing it. We didn't end up doing it. We might in the future, but that's definitely one. But probably not smoking, depending on your group. If everyone smokes, I mean, I guess there's not really any problem.
Well, that's why if you have a window attached, you
get a window, leave the door open, whatever. Just get some airish.
Well, with this studio, the amount of room we have is like right now we're in a corner.
Yeah.
This corner, my birthday was over the weekend, and I decided to have a party here. And we had 2 tables set up that could fit a total of 11 people. And then I had my computer desk still set up. I had the this corner that had like a TV and it had like the Nintendo Switch
set up
going, and there was so much room for people to do stuff that no one was ever like, oh, excuse me, and stuff like that. Like, that's how much room we have now. It is really big. So we're very happy and we're willing to expand. So that takes it time.
Yeah, that's essentially the session that we were always talking about doing, where everyone's just sitting there drinking, and like, I think the original plan was to make it just a downtime session in canon, where we were like
At a pub.
just at a pub.
Yeah.
And so if you wanted your character to be drinking, you had to be drinking as much as your character was drinking.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you're just gonna down the drink. If you want to down the drink, you have to down your drink.
Yeah.
Then you order a new one, go get a drink from the fridge, and open a new drink.
So, with all the technical difficulties around technology, so I've been behind the camera for the past few technical difficulties podcasts, and to answer some questions, for instance, about phones. Why do I use phones instead of webcams or cameras? The ideal is to go to cameras, but cameras are expensive. They're all expensive. I'm not filming off really bad phones either. They're and 60 frames a second. But when you're not affiliate, it locks you to 720, and I think 60 frames a second or 30 frames.
Is it
a second.
720?
It's 720,
720 is usually quite high.
but not as high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
So the reason what's going on is because we're doing 1080, and then our bitrate says, no, you don't have 60, you have 30. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
why our quality drops in and out, and we go all like pixelated and
We
stuff
get
like
really
that, and then
good
we
and
come
we come
back in.
back and...
It's because of that. The reason why we did phones over webcams, because webcams cost cheaper than phones, and that was the plan. Until I realized that to use multiple webcams, because we have a total of 6 phones on at once, we would have 6 USBs plugged into my PC at once, and cord management and cable management would be horrible.
So-
this is a bit high.
I'm loving the pony keg vortexes. At least 3 of us have D&D-esque little mugs that we use. I love it. 100% embrace your flaws. I think what you're talking about is LARPing, and I would be more than happy to get the groups out playing our characters out in a field somewhere, but I don't know that the rest of the people would be willing to.
We've spoken about it a lot, but the downside is that there's not many LARPers in
our groups.
No, in like Sydney in general.
No, I just mean like get all of us out to a park
Yeah.
and like set up some cones for 5-foot squares and be like, right, play your character.
Get a giant ball.
That'd be hilarious.
Yes, you can. You can flick a switch and you can become affiliate. 2 months ago, into our 3rd session of D&D, we hit affiliate.
There you go. And Blazer's down to play his character in the field.
I thought you would.
The problem is getting everyone else to do it.
Just so you know, and Blazer, because we know who you are, I don't want to give away your name, but
I mean, we do that
so you
constantly
know,
when we shout out his channel, but yeah.
this Wednesday is cancelled because the studio is flooding again. And we're currently on a timer for this podcast.
He just doubted himself.
Yeah.
We literally
Okay,
say your stream all the time because we shout you out.
True.
So.
Okay. So, Rob, Wednesday is currently cancelled. I was going to message everyone after this. Actually, you and Arthur are the only two that... But if Friday is cancelled, then next Wednesday, you're doing a Campaign 1 Battle Royale.
Okay, so we
that
settled on.
for a battle royale. All right. Can you read that because it's massive?
People ask why D&D characters stand 5 feet apart. My best reply was, if I look to my left and Bruce Lee is doing some kung fu gymnastics while Gandalf is swinging an axe bigger than me around, yeah, I'm gonna give him personal space. That's actually exactly the reason.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out a YouTube channel that actually did this really, really well. I think he's called...
Really well,
he's just like a medieval YouTuber, but like he straight up was like, I'm sick of people doing this whole, oh, it's 5 foot away. Technically, it should be further if you're doing proper sword fighting.
No, Rob, the mics are cutting out because I haven't actually... We plugged this in and just went, like, did a 10-minute intro, so
we didn't set everything up properly.
Yeah. So I didn't get time to work with the audio, like I usually would.
But yeah, so technically, if you're doing proper sword fighting, you should be standing 10 foot from each other at least.
Yeah.
Because
do me a
you
favor,
hold
though.
the sword out like this.
How bad it is. So what I want you guys to do, if you could, is 1 Dorito means it's really bad, 2 Doritos means it's bearable, and 3 Doritos means that you can listen to it for the whole stream.
Yeah, I agree with the halberd as well. I wouldn't want to get in front of that.
Because if it's really bad, I'm going to... I will fix the settings.
We're getting 2 Doritos.
Okay, so it's bearable. Alright,
Okay.
I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go over there and play with it for 2 seconds, and hopefully it'll go up. But you can take it for a little bit. Like
Feel free to chat to me. I'm gonna keep going with this whole 5 foot thing. The other part of it as well is if you're fighting towards them, you're not only moving your 1 step, you're also moving your whole sword 1 step, and you don't really want to be right up next to someone because you don't get a proper swing that way. So, thanks for Texas. I like the beard too. I actually need to cut it. It's starting to annoy me. It's getting really, really, really bad.
Does that sound better?
How are we doing with...
3 Doritos if it's really good, 1 Dorito if it's bad, 2 if it's okay. Because I don't know if it's going to be cutting out or not.
I'm feeling good about my beard now. I got a compliment.
That's good. Don't let the burden.
No, see, I don't get rid of it. Well, I don't clean it up because I'm lazy.
Thank you,
That's
Blue.
what it is.
Yeah. So coming back
Cheers,
back
Blue.
around to all this. So yeah, the reasons why we went with phones, because phones, cable management.
The 2.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we watch.
Did it cut out, guys? Yeah.
Blue said it cut out, yeah. Look, is it going to make it easier if we just move that closer?
No, that's
No.
not what's cutting out.
Okay. Oh, okay. We're checking the cords because we've got like 3 extenders connected up. Just because, again, we're in a really far off place right now. Okay, yeah, it's a wizard, but form a familiar instead of picking like a rat, cat, bird, or anything. Yeah. Test. I can hear it. This is working.
Alright, is it kicked in?
Can hear now. Alright, cheers, Vortexus. Oh, nada.
No.
There we go. Yep. I think that's just the delay. Yep.
Yeah, there's probably a delay. So yeah, back to the question. So when it comes to the phones, they turn out to be a lot better than they are. Right now, it's just that we're limited by the technology of our time.
Shut up.
And also the reason why we haven't gone affiliate, because it's a big reason. Because if we go affiliate, it fixes everything.
It does.
It gives us more bitrate to use.
The only problem is that we're trying to multi-stream, and affiliate doesn't allow you to do it.
There's not just that. So
One reason.
that is one reason. The moment we accept affiliate, we accept a contract to Twitch, and what that means is we're not allowed to physically stream our content on any other streaming platform. We want to be streaming over 3 platforms at once, and that's the plan on moving forward. Just need to make sure that my RAM is fixed, so that way it can actually work.
Didn't you just say what I said, just longer?
Yeah,
we're trying to multi-stream?
I did. But the second reason.
Oh, okay, there's another reason.
Twitch has recently been giving out 5 ads at once. And I don't want to be in the middle of doing a dialogue and Twitch is like, oh, here's an ad. Yes, you do get to place them, but sometimes it goes, it's been too long since you had an ad, and does it itself. Another reason is because when someone who hasn't watched us joins in and there's a minute of ads, they're going to click off it. So we want much exposure. And I would much rather just have the exposure than have the Twitch revenue of the ads, especially when it's not a lot.
Or have the max quality.
Correct. The Twitch ads were, you as a content creator would get 3% a month off the ads. They're updating that now to 55% because that's what YouTube does. There's a lot of analytics that go into it that I have been keeping up to date with. So that's why I don't want to do it. I don't want to give you guys ads during the stream. That's just horrible. YouTube doesn't do it.
Yeah.
They can run an ad roll break, but that is optional for you to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And also,
you don't have to add ads to YouTube at all.
Correct. And then, you just don't get monetized.
That's it.
But
we're not doing this for the money anyway.
No. No.
Clearly. I just want to say, I love that idea, Vortexes, of having just a freaking hog as your familiar. I'm pretty sure this guy would let you do it, but just, talk to whoever's running your game. 10 out of 10.
But yeah, no, a lot of people, the moment, if you're a brand new streamer, the moment you click affiliate, you half kill your channel. Yeah. Unfortunately, because you stop every other form of networking to do. And unfortunately, I haven't really been doing the other networking for the reason of why I haven't done affiliate. But that's just because time restraints and all this other stuff. Time constraints
is just everything that just keeps stuffing us around.
The day we went live, I started a new job.
Yeah, literally.
Literally the day.
Yeah.
I did a 50-hour week, went live the next day, and started the new job, which then turned into a 40-hour week.
Yeah.
Yes. So, that's why we didn't. That's why we haven't gone. This is why we've been just dealing with this. It's because soon we will be multi-streaming.
Yeah. We just got to kind of pull our fingers out and start doing it. That's literally all it is.
Yeah. The moment I get the RAM, we can start multi-streaming and we can start using that program that stops the echoing and makes it all sound really fresh and all in one go. So that's the first thing. The problem there is that I finish work roughly around 5:30. So by the time I finish work, everything's off. My days can be constrained and different. And I just need to find a day where I have nothing on so I can head down and go and do that.
Yeah.
Did you guys see on Roll20 that they're talking about pre-orders for G.I. Joe action figures, Transformers, and Power Rangers?
I did not.
RPGs.
I haven't actually started Roll20 at all, but that sounds hilarious. I want to try the G.I. Joe one. Like, honestly, I wouldn't even care if I never tried the rest of them. I just kind of want to try the G.I. Joe one, just because I feel like that's going to be hilarious. If I play Power Rangers or Transformers, I'm going to enjoy it too much based on what it is to just, like, sit there and go, this is G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Just so you know, Vortexes, we are real life players. We've tried doing the online stuff, and we just couldn't enwrap ourselves with it.
We got too used to the experience that he's created for us on the table, so that when we started trying to play online, we tried. He would send us through photos of the battlefield.
Yeah, that was first back in the day because just
then we tried setting up cameras, like video cameras,
literally
like
how
Discord,
you're watching,
like you're watching now, but just off the battlefield.
Yeah,
but it just didn't have the same feeling
and then,
of looking over, seeing it there, and then going,
yeah,
oh wait, hold on, so wait, what's that back? Okay, I see it now.
And then
it'd be asking questions. Oh, can I see from this angle? What's behind there? And it would just slow everything down, and everyone was like,
yeah,
I just want to play the table.
And
again.
then we also tried like basically Roll20.
Yeah,
and it was just it's so much more prep work than a real life game is.
Yeah,
so
because you have to put everything into it.
Yes,
so you kind of have to know
how to use it. But it's not just that; it's also like creating the battlefield based off what Roll20 is, because Roll20 says, "Here, have it all." And build it, where I physically build what I have. I have a lot of them. It takes 2 seconds for me to place it, and then I speak about it. Yeah. Where I find that a lot easier, and my players enjoy it more because they physically get to see the big things that I build.
But he's also got a limited amount of building blocks, unlike Roll20, where you go, okay, so I want 30 of this thing, and you can have it because it's just cutting and pasting the piece. Whereas if he only has one, he's like, well, I guess there's only one of it, isn't it?
Yeah, and it sucks that your real life group, not the fact they work in a hospital. That's really great. I really enjoy the fact that that you're friends with people that do that. That's really honorable. But there's the fact is that it sucks that the schedule doesn't match up. We were fortunate enough that we were all friends before, or actually no, that's a lie. I was friends with everyone, but half the people didn't know the other half, or even the quarter and the third and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because there were 3 groups of people at one stage, and they all got along with each other when they met each other and everything like that. And then me being the one DM, I'd grab people and bring them together. We'd all get togethers for like certain events and stuff like that. But half of us just played card games together and we all hung out.
Well, our D&D started out with... I'd always kind of wanted to play, so when he's like, hey, do you want to play D&D? I was like, fuck yeah, I want to play D&D. At least like 2 or 3 people were just like, I think I've heard of that before. Why not? This will be funny. And then the other people had played before. So like, it started out as a, let's all hang out. And it just kind of evolved into, this game is amazing.
Yeah.
Let's keep playing.
And we would make the time to hang out because we are friends. And at the moment it hasn't been a lot like that, and it's just because we're all getting used to new work schedules, but it has been, we see each other twice a week or more. And some weeks is where we only see each other once. But it's all about again, time schedule is a massive thing, so I'm not dismissing that.
Cheers, Blue. Apparently we haven't cut out since we did it. We've got
you.
3 Doritos now.
It probably was that microphone cord. Thank you for that.
One of them does just kind of
I think that
get a little bit iffy sometimes, and so we probably just grabbed the wrong one.
Yeah. Because again, we just grabbed cords and said, let's put them together. Because Rob, when he was here for my birthday, taped them all up in one like circle, and I was like, oh, I don't know which is which. So I grabbed one, and I just instantly grabbed the wrong one.
Bro, Fallout TTRPG run as LARP. That sounds sick.
Yeah.
So Vortex just lives in a ruralish area. That'd be perfect for post-apocalyptic. That sounds mad. And yes, it does sound like paintball, but you know what? I'm in love with paintball. I used to play paintball twice a year because two of my mates were like, this is my birthday every year. So everyone just had to come out and play.
But yes, that's why we got together. We used to congregate and change places where we'd play and all this stuff. And then you remember how we spoke about the shed? That's when I just said, you know what, screw this. I'm going to create the one place we can all hang out and play.
Yeah.
What do you mean you never did such thing?
Oh, dude, I'd take myself as the super mutant. That'd be mad. That just means I get to get shot by the paintballs.
That sounds terrifying, paying some random dudes to do that.
Paying a random... No, like, I would do it, like, for the group. Because that means...
No, dude, hire some guys.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
their random.
But like, our group is... How many people big now? 4, 8?
It's 8 now.
Like, you could have 2 super mutants, at least. Like, that's fine. I think we've got enough people for it. Yeah. Well, including you, 9.
Well, it soon will be 12.
Yeah.
It's currently 8.
We've got plenty of people to just run it with just us. It's fine.
But, yeah. So that's how we have constantly been able to stay together and keep going.
Spooky dude gets sunburned to become a ghoul. I don't know if I like that one, because, yes, paintballs are fun to get shot by. I don't know if I want to get shot on sunburn. That would be painful.
But yeah, so that's how we've been able to constantly come together and play games. Is that it's not just dedication, that is a big part of it, but also that we sat down and we spoke to each other and we worked out the best days. We took it serious because we take playing this game to heart. This is the day we will always get to see each other.
You may watch Wednesday Group just kind of, fuck the world over, but we are taking it seriously in terms of when we play. We come here to play and have fun, but it's like we make it a commitment. It's like when you join a sports team or, you join a book club. I don't know what people are into these days. Like, you make a commitment to go and do it all the time. It's the same thing with playing D&D. If you don't make a commitment, it just falls apart. If you don't go to training and games, you're basically not part of the team.
See, that's really good. The fact that every Sunday you guys get together and you play online. That's still a great commitment. It doesn't have to be in real life. That's just our preference because we can only play in real life. That's the fun of it. We get to visually hear and see and feel the emotion from the other room. If we're laughing,
well, I mean,
or anything like that.
We were getting the emotion when we were playing online. I think the thing that made us not enjoy it was just the fact that we couldn't interact with the
pieces.
The pieces ourselves. We had to tell you to interact with them. So, we used laser pointers to say where we're going to go. But we kind of couldn't do that while we were playing online. We were just like, okay, I'm going to go up to... Or when we moved systems, we did. But like, originally we were like, okay, I want to go, up 2 squares and left 6 squares, and that's where I want to be. And it just kind of broke all of the immersion.
Yeah. So that's like one of the biggest difference for us. So and we have one of the players who's currently in the chat now, and he was the younger brother of one of my best friends, and unfortunately, he doesn't play anymore, but the younger brother still does, and it's Jacob, the other Jacob. And one thing that we've been trying to do is get him more involved, because he doesn't like playing the things that we play outside of D&D, but he loves D&D as a whole, and he has all these other hobbies. So that's why we were like, hey, maybe we can get you on the podcast, maybe we can get you to do other things. He's been really involved recently.
Yeah, that's the second one that we went to. It wasn't on Roll20, it was a much simpler...
Owlbear
Rodeo, that's the one. Yeah. So we were playing on that, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. And then at that point, it was... I don't get to see all the pieces that he's made. Became the problem. So, it was kind of a doomed if we do, doomed if we don't, because we were given an experience that we kind of all got used to and all fell in love with. And we could either have it, but not have the interactivity, or not have that, and have the interactivity. That was the problem.
So, I just find it really funny. And Blazer, you make a really good point straight after you actually messaged the Nightbot, shouted you out. Just want to point that out. But yes, playing in real life compared to online, they are technically two different games.
Yeah.
Even though core mechanic, they are the exact same. Just unfortunately, it's the hard truth of it. As Vortex has pointed out, building maps online is hard and it's annoying, and sometimes you just mess it up and you don't realize. I've done it a lot, and we even showed how to actually build maps for free and how to do neat things with it and all that stuff. We actually, on one of the first ones we did, we explained, and this was a long time ago now, this was in 2021, we explained how to play D&D completely free.
Yeah.
And still have all the knowledge of the game and just play it completely free. And that's...
It obviously has you sacrificing bits and pieces here and there because you've just got to kind of make do. But, like, playing, like, without having to invest anything into it is literally the best way to start. Because if you don't have to put anything into it,
you have nothing to
you're
lose.
losing nothing.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you go, cool, let's move on to another game. Whereas if you've already gone out and bought minis and bought terrain and bought all the hardcover books, what are you going to do with that stuff?
Yeah. And the one thing that you pointed out, Rob, is the fact that if you... they're different games because, again, you find it hard to immerse yourself when you're online. And that's to do with environment. That's to do with the air in the room. Depending on... You get to physically see and feel the emotion coming off someone else. So if they're laughing, you're laughing. Compared to when you're online, it doesn't become that funny. And that's just the hard truth sometimes. Like, a moment that you have online, if you had... And it was really funny. If you had that in person, it's 10 times funny.
I guess that just depends on the group, though.
But yeah, but I also just feel like that's because of all the facial reactions you get to see.
Yeah.
And just how hard... Because there's always the time where one person's laughing, so it makes you laugh even harder.
Yeah, of course.
It's like when last Wednesday...
It really just depends on how you set it up as well, though.
Well,
Because if everyone's got a face cam, you can see everyone.
Yeah.
When someone talks, you tend to look at them anyway.
Yeah.
But, like, I get what you mean, and I would never choose to play online if I had the choice.
But also, audio quality's a thing.
I understand why some people are like, look, bro, I couldn't care less. It's basically the same thing to me.
Yeah.
I think I specifically have just been spoiled in the game that I've been given, and now I don't want to move away from it.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is.
Yeah, if we played online, Bang wouldn't have been Bang.
No, he wouldn't have been.
No.
Because Rob would have been falling asleep during the game. Because there's no one there to smack him in the side and be like, "Oi, get the fuck up."
And and watching body language is just a massive thing in real life compared to online. So that's why we'll never do it. If we go into a lockdown, we're not continuing to do an online game.
Yeah. I do agree everyone should have a PHB, but for starting out initially, I've got the Player's Handbook downloaded on my tablet. Just because, like, when I'm out and I've got my tablet, and I'm like, oh shit, I just thought of something really cool. I just need to check something in PHB. I just pull it up on my tablet. I don't have to wait until I go home to get my PHB to look it up.
I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Soviet Psycho... Hi, how you going? Welcome to the Technical Difficulties podcast, where we're talking about how a studio is currently flooding as we're filming this.
We've probably already let this go too long, but that's fine. We'll deal with that when we finish.
It's actually not. I'm like keeping it close.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
No, we're getting into that second layer.
I can see it getting dark. So just pointing out that our Wednesday D&D is not happening because of this flood.
Yes.
It's getting quite out of hand. But yeah, I thought today's... we're not doing a roll-off for today because of this topic, but it also just allows us to talk about the behind-the-scenes stuff that people were interested in last week. So, and certain things and questions that you want to ask. It's more focused on you guys. I was reading the bio thing. Let's have... And it is a typo. Balance to provide. Yep.
I think I noticed that one in the last one.
Spell. No, I can. I just when I decide to do this type of crap, it's always like 3 o'clock in the morning after I've had a long day at
Legitimately
work.
every single time.
Yeah, I always for instance, the intro that we make for our D&D session, even though I find it really bad now, I made that within 17 hours of not knowing what the hell I was doing. I literally had one that I worked on for months, and I'm like, wow, I'm liking the look of that. And then they come over and I go, hey guys, look what I made. And then...
Let's put that in perspective. After we first went live with the intro that we had, literally the very next day, I came over to help set some other stuff up and whatever, and he looked at me and goes, I have an idea for a new one. So you fucking serious? We just put it up for the first time.
Yeah.
Leave it as is for a while.
Yeah, my brain's always thinking because I am my biggest worst critic.
Yes.
There are some things that I love and some
There is good parts to it, but yeah, no, he just goes, oh, by the way, I've already changed it. It's like, you submitted it 3 hours ago.
Exactly. So yes, the bio needs to be updated. I need other people to proofread for me because I just write stuff and do stuff. I've been told that I'm not allowed to post videos up without editing them now because of the Upkeep episode 3, which has now been edited to make sure I didn't say a particular word that I didn't mean to leave my mouth.
If you want one of the other technical difficulties that we found not too long ago, if you watch our intro video really closely, you'll notice where I fucked it up when I was rearranging shit, and there's a point where all of the background just stops moving for a second.
Everyone's loving the fact that you're thinking out of that. So
What?
Psycho's loving it now.
Oh, dude, I'm loving the mug. The mug is here because Blake told my girlfriend to get it for me for Christmas or my birthday, one of the two.
That was your birthday.
Birthday, there you go. And it was just mad. Now it literally just lives here, and every time I'm doing anything D&D related, this is what I've got. And there's Blake's one.
I'm gonna mine.
Yeah. I also want to say, Vortexes, I love the fact that you are the RP player. I like to think of myself as the same, but then again, when Rob's playing Bang, no one can out-RP that.
No one can.
There is just no comparison.
Nope. So, yeah. In terms of where's the dragon tea? Oh, yeah, you got a good bloody point, don't you? It's just everything's packed up because, it's all gone.
Flooding. Wait, what's this about? What are we looking at? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a teapot.
We have a... camera probably went to shit for 2 seconds. We have a dragon teapot.
Yeah.
Courtesy of his girlfriend.
She's obsessed with teapots, and the moment we told her that we were going to be, like, setting up a little table and doing it kind of like sit around a campfire style, she's like, oh my god, I'm going to buy you a teapot.
Yeah, that never happened. So we're in the middle of building a fireplace behind us, but that just never happened. Building material decided to disappear from the shelves.
From the shelves, from stock, from production.
Oh, if you want to go through and critique everything that I've written, go for it. Because I am more than happy to understand where I've messed up. And then I'll send other people to actually fix it for me.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried anything?
I want to try the D&D cookbook. I've known about it. I've known about either it or like things similar for a long time. I'm just a really bad cook. The first time I ever made rice, it was on fire within 5 minutes of me putting it on. I don't understand how I did it.
The first time I ever made rice was that chicken dog birria that I made.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not a great cook either, so I don't really pride myself in that, even though I worked in restaurants for a long time, but I was always a waiter, not a cook.
No, yeah, quite literally, I somehow burnt water because I think I overfilled the pot just so that I would have, room to mess it up, and I just have soggy rice at the end of it. And I left the room to go and get my phone and walked back in, and the pot was on fire. I don't know, man. I couldn't redo it if I tried, I'm sure.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, dude,
Anything.
If you want to proofread this, we are 100% giving you free reign to yell at us and be like, you got shit wrong. That's basically what this podcast is, because it's just us talking about shit that we got wrong.
Yes, that's why the podcast is called the Technical Difficulties Podcast.
Yeah, because something always happens, or we always find something, or something messes up, and then it just becomes a massive talking point because people bring it up, and we're like,
exactly.
ah.
The funniest thing is,
originally this was called the In Your End Step podcast. It was meant to be a joke.
Magic the
because
Gathering.
we play Magic the Gathering. So every time someone ends their turn, someone's always, in your end step.
Yeah.
So
and it was a funny.
It started out as that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it became the Technical Difficulties podcast even after we restarted for like 3 episodes or something.
No, actually, it was the In Your End Step podcast for 9 episodes.
There you go, 9 episodes.
And then I turned around and said to you, "Hey, you know how we keep calling it the Technical Difficulties podcast instead? Why don't we just name
That's
it?"
right, because we'd sit down, we're like, so welcome to the Technical Difficulties podcast, because something went wrong again. And people just liked it. And he's like, why don't we just do it?
Oh, no. That's just the episode.
Yeah, things are more technically difficult because we've had to shift everything around, and the microphone's not been set up properly.
And I'm not usually in this.
Water coming through the wall.
Yeah.
And...
Pretty much. I don't know what you would call me, but I'm almost in all content, and I'm trying to cut myself out of all content.
Yeah.
To make way for other people to be in said content. I actually tried to call somebody from the comments tonight to be in this said episode. But
did you?
Yeah, but he didn't pick up, and he never called me back. I'm calling you
Interesting. Out. This is the first time hearing of this.
Yeah.
So I guess I also call you out. I don't even know who we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at these mega thighs. Are you kidding me? Look at the detailing. I share an ordeal in my first campaign. Go for it. Oh, I did too. I forgot you have a new phone. That is my bad. I'm calling myself out now. Jacob, call me out.
I call you out. I haven't gotten to that part. I'm still reading stuff. I'm very blind and I can't. I need to let my eyes focus.
Soviet Psycho, go. Tell us your story. We are on this podcast because you are a first timer here. We actually, we roll a die and we usually have a topic, and then we go based off whoever won the die roll, and then we come up with a topic there and then. So we don't pre-plan any of this.
Yeah.
And then generally what we will do is we get so sidetracked it's not even funny like we have now. And we have people who send us maps they build and we review them. We have people that tell us stories of D&D and like classes they want to make. We have people who show us literal like challenge rating 30
creatures that they've built.
And they send it directly to us and we bring it up on the podcast. So if you have stuff that you want to show us or talk to us about,
other Jacob. Haha, I win. I haven't been called out yet. Okay. Soviet, have you played the Magic?
That's what he's done because he's mentioned
what are they called? The modules.
Yeah.
How are they? Because I wanted to have a look at those, and I've just never really gotten around to it.
Okay, so
I was kind of interested.
I used my bugbear bard of the Boros Legionnaires to seduce a beholder. I want to know how you did that because Boros in bloody Magic the Gathering is really good in Standard, but sucks in Commander.
Hey, you telling me Feather's bad? I'll bring it back.
Why haven't you? It wasn't a bad deck. It was an okay deck.
It's actually just probably one of my best decks because it's so hard.
Osgear is nothing but artifacts,
but mine's not artifacts. It's like when you're like, I'm gonna build mono white, and I think you put out of the 100 cards, I think 60 were colorless artifacts. It's like, it's mono white, guys. No, it's colorless.
What would you prefer? Us call you Soviet or Psycho or both? Because, man, I want to call you one thing or another, so you tell me what you prefer to be called. Yeah, no, we do know that Warhammer 40k is coming out. We are 100% nerds.
Through and through.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of regional tournaments for like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that, and like YCSs, if anyone knows what they are. We don't go to Magic things because they just don't exist in Australia.
Yeah.
Which is
not for Commander.
No, but I do have a plan for when everything settles down and we get more comfortable for us to go to a Magic GP.
Yeah.
So
I was top 16 for Nats for Dragon Ball Super card game.
Yeah, we played Dragon Ball Super too. Yeah. I won my fair share of tournaments as well for Super. I came top 4 for the one that was held at Games Corner, James. I lost 2.
Oh no, Nats. You know that?
No,
those
that was the
yeah. That one was that was like just before Nats, I think, wasn't it?
We played we played Force the Will back in the day. This camera's about to die.
Oh yeah, we just had
and that camera died.
Amazing. That's right. We don't need the camera to be speaking to everyone. Oh god, I've missed so much of this. I like the idea of Comrade for Soviet Psycho. Not bad after I got smacked with a level 15 trap.
Get the back up.
I was level 10, got dropped to 7 HP, so he let me have initiative against the next combat account. Did he regret just giving you top initiative against the next encounter? I'm going to assume so, because, I mean, there are a lot of situations where I think I could have done really dumb stuff if I was on the top of initiative count. Yeah, the camera did die. Wasn't plugged in properly, apparently. That's fine. They may be good, like, phone cameras, but they're still old phones. So
it's not just that; they just weren't plugged in properly. And
the battery life on them just aren't great. If they're not plugged in, then we just
we also did the
lose it.
Like technical. We also did the upkeep for this.
Yeah. Everyone kind of a full combat situation could happen because bugbears sneak up and the enemies seduce them. Crucial combat encounter came up to the beholder, ended up rolling 2 nat 20s and seduced the beholder as it rolled poorly against me and to do attacks against me. I love it. Wait, so what do bugbears get that make them especially sneaky? Do they have like a advantage on stealth check or something? I know that bugbears came out in Modern Kainen's Monsters of the Universe, but I've not actually read that book yet. I've read the Duergars, but that's it. So just a beholder my game would allow it, but you take 1d3 intelligence damage, not be able to remember the depraverific active. Amazing. When you say 1d3 intelligence damage, do you mean just like 1d3 removed from your intelligence stat? Because damn. I'd take it anyway, it doesn't affect the charisma stat. Yeah, it does fit the podcast title if we just leave the camera sideways, but so does all of the cutting and chopping and changing and moving around. It looks like we're literally setting out right now, so it works. Sneaky build as a feat and have proficiency in stealth. Hey, alright, that sounds fun. What else could I do though that's not just totally ripping that idea and just do the sneak and seduce? I'll have to come up with some. That sounds fun. Maybe I'll just make that my first build for the Soul Forge, which is something that I've been meaning to get up and running, and then I keep running into things that I'm wanting to do, period, and it just never happens. You don't get to play an Artificer, you've already done it, George. You just decided you wanted to do it in lockdown, and so your fault. I don't know if you could work 2 of the modules together, Vortexes. I haven't actually read them. I want to go out of my way and start reading a bunch of modules, but I've just never gotten around to doing it. I do have dice from one of the modules though. Um, Witchlight Carnival. So I think that may be the same one or a similar one.
Usually I don't do this on the fly, so no one like.
No, it's fine. They've already been saying just leave it sideways and tiny in the corner because it fits with the title of the podcast.
Why is that so dog shit?
I don't know. Because we have technical difficulties. Dude, I just love the idea of your bugbear in general. I think that sounds hilarious. Like, okay, I'm gonna be sneaky, and then just like walk out, or like you do the slide, like hey there, or if anyone's seen Friends, it's how you doing? All right, roll to seduce.
Why is this doing this? Focus mode is horrible right now. Anyway, keep talking. You got this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I've got the dice from the Witchlight Carnival, and so it also came with like cards for like all the carnival games. So I kind of want to like try and incorporate that into stuff. But if it's just you get sent to the Feywild, you can just put it in anything, bro. I don't even think Strixhaven would care about that. It's literally a magic school. If magic shit happens, they go, yeah, that's par for the course. Oh, I'm 100% happy to hear more of these Bugbear Bard stories. This thing sounds hilarious.
My god.
Oh no. How long did you make your coffee vortexes? How do you manage to not drink it? It's coffee. It is the lifeblood. Bugbear would sort of appear from the shadows and say things like, "Hi, you're light. You're the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, your light at the end of the tunnel is here to save your heart." That's amazing. Were they all just like cheesy pickup lines, or did you ever actually just like break away and do something weird?
Jacob.
Yes.
These folks.
I looked away because you called me. Couldn't tell you. I'm not focused. Oh, wait. Your hand kind of focused.
Lighting. Thanks. My god.
Apparently the camera's usually dog shit at the start of the stream. The longer it stays in one spot, the more it focuses.
Yeah. Well, generally, it'll always be fucking better anyway.
When you say a cup the size of 2 coffee cups, like, do you just mean like the 18-ounce like mugs? Because I have like 6 of those, and I love them, and I never let them go cold. I'm out of drink. That's very depressing. Yeah, I've got a 18-ounce mug that's just got a coughing space from Pokemon, but it's spelled Koffee down the bottom, so it's coffee mug. And I've also got a Lovecraft one because I'm obsessed with H.P. Lovecraft's works. But you're just chatting. You're typing to chat. You type something, and while I'm giving you an answer, that's when you drink.
I'm guessing this is as good as it's gonna get.
Technical difficulties, bro. It's fine. We could just have 240p from the start, and it'd be fine.
I don't know. Anyway.
The weirdest thing I did to seduce a thief was pull them away from them stealing something and kiss them passionately. Rolls were made and they were so awe-stricken by the boldness and passion they fell in love. I love it. See, that's where it's at. You gotta do weird shit if you're gonna play the horny bard. Let the dice just make the DM tell you, like, fine, I guess it works. Hey, we got 3 Doritos.
Mad. Okay, we're black.
Blake seduced Medusa.
I did once.
Was this like an old game?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
This was in like the second session of my second ever session.
Oh, okay.
I was not a bard, I was a ranger.
That's even better.
Yeah, I was a half elf ranger. No, it was full elf ranger. I was playing 3.5, and for some reason, my brain didn't think that this drunk Medusa would be okay with just upping and leaving if we asked and bribed. Instead, I was like, she had an attraction to me because I shot her, and I was like, oh, well, okay. So I almost had like a sexual scene with my DM. It's really weird.
Amazing.
Until one of the players just like, I'm gonna lob off her, like, gonna chuck a bag over her head and then lob off her head. And I'm like, mad.
But that was my girlfriend.
No, I was quite glad. I was gonna turn the that's when we were very new to D&D, which I'm guessing that a lot of people do when they are new to D&D. They do that type of stuff.
Yeah, I understand taking the horny bard that route. You can never really start with it, otherwise they just start throwing shit at you that's weird. You have to let them establish their world.
So,
and then when the world's not all monstrous shit, then you're like, oh, by the way, gonna seduce everything.
Of course you won't. You brought it up the other day. Vortexes. 3.5 is a very brilliant game, but as you said, to new players, don't pick Rogue. I had access to all books, including... So in total, classes plus prestige classes was over 715 that you had to pick, and skills and your feats were over 5,000 feats to pick from. So yes, it was very complex, and you had to go through it. And as much as you think you knew, you didn't. And it becomes a very hard game to understand as a DM because the monsters were so overpowered on purpose. Because you could roll a 2 and you're like, oh, plus 43 to hit, and it's like, yeah, that's a real thing. That's without changing rules of the game. That's just how it got. 3.5 is much more advanced version of D&D, where 5th Ed is a much more simplified version, and it's much easier to run and just have fun. But if you're someone who likes the metagaming, not the metagaming, the power gaming, 3.5 is your game.
I kind of want to go back and maybe find some of the people that really could get into 3.5 and just do it like a one shot here and there. I reckon that could be really fun. We started with it, and
Chosen Nolan.
Not a lot of people were able to 100% keep up with it because it is very complex.
Yeah. Chosen Nolan, no, you are not allowed to use a D20 with all sides being 20.
That's fine. I do have more D20 math for you though, if you want to chat about that.
We don't.
When I see you next.
See ya.
No, not on the stream.
Yeah. Also, because you are another player, the studio is flooding. We are on a timer with how much we can actually talk about in here, so we're just trying to stay on top of it. So that's happening.
I feel like this needs to be out loud. Vortexes had a bard seduce a red worm, which then flew off with him to add to her hoard as a treasured love slave.
You can play him again.
That's incredible.
There's actually a canon reason on why you can play them. As the other Jacob knows why, because I spoke to him last week about where all that stuff is in the world. It actually exists in the world. It's just in a certain place in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm not reading that because I just generally don't like to read big paragraphs. My players send me backstories and I go, yep, I'll read that. I don't read that. So, I kind of just been lost for words a bit. Mechanical, fucking whatever. Yeah, that laughter.
Wait, what's this story? What's this story going off? So, Psycho, did I miss a part?
Oh, the peasant rail cannon. Yeah, that's stupid math that D&D can only come up with.
But it's not even stupid math that D&D comes up with. It's just the fact that the rules of the game say a round takes 6 seconds. But then when you go, if A round always takes 6 seconds, no matter what.
Yeah.
Then you can peasant rave.
The funny thing is, it's
But-
like, oh, I run 60 feet 6 seconds. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
But like, even with let's go back to the peasant rave cannon for a second. Yeah, okay, you have the projectile go, 3 kilometers, whatever the hell you want to do it. When the last peasant throws it, they throw it with their strength modifier.
That is correct.
All of the previous movement means nothing. That's why it's able to happen, but it also doesn't work mechanically.
No, because when you go, oh, but science says, yeah, it works.
Yeah, but science also says they can't all pass it to each other in one round.
No, so basically what you've done is you've slapped it so hard that it slides through their hands. All their hands have been burnt off.
You missed it. You missed a golden opportunity. They slapped it so hard that they cooked the chicken.
That one. Yep. Yeah, as a rogue, you can use dash bonus. Yeah. If you're a tabaxi too, like tabaxis kind of make sense of felines, but when you get a human rogue who's like, I'm gonna dash and I'm going to run this far, it's like, and there goes Usain Bolt.
Yeah, quite literally.
Like, it's just crazy.
Thing.
But yeah, so a bit more into, I feel like a stand-up comedian where they keep going about like the story and then they stop to interject with another story and then they get back to the story and then do it.
Yeah.
It's like Jim Jeffries, he does it all the time.
Vortexus, if you add on racial being tabaxi, you can add another 30 foot to that and go 90 feet.
So, yes, we do understand how much difficulty we have with the podcast and the D&D and stuff like that, but we are currently trying to fix all of it, and it all does take time, and none of us are audio engineers, none of us are like producers in terms of lighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why I'm cutting myself out of a lot of content is because I am physically learning all this without being taught it. I have a lot of friends that want to teach me certain things, but then I end up surpassing them on what they're teaching me just because of how much research and time I put into it.
Like we said, I will leave here at probably about midnight. It's 11:15. I'll probably leave here at midnight, and he'll probably still be just going through shit for another 3 hours after I leave.
That's probably it. I'll be editing and doing other things. You haven't seen the new opening. You saw a snippet of the new opening.
I saw a snippet of it, yeah.
And now I've got to cut it from 2 minutes down.
Amazing.
But yeah, so that's why these difficulties exist. Because currently I'm one person tackling all of it.
Soviet Psycho, go on YouTube and watch the last episode of the podcast, and you'll see my brother Jordan's strangest character that he's ever played, which I have said many times in that episode that it was absolutely a mistake because it was just that strange.
You mean shit?
I'm gonna go with strange. I'm keeping it on theme.
But yeah, so once we start to give everyone
the guy in philosophy, our job as DMs is to make our players suffer, but not actually kill them off all the time.
Well, at the moment, I am the dungeon master that makes the viewers suffer.
That's pretty good Gaxing, I assume, right?
So when it comes to doing all this stuff, I am fitting people into certain roles to start understanding that. And there's some people in the group that I don't ask because I know that their time is, they don't have a lot of time or they don't have the motivation to do certain things. And, like we have an editor that doesn't even play D&D.
Yeah.
I've also got multiple people who want to play D&D and that have been like, one of them especially has been very dedicated to coming over and saying hi and making sure that they can fit in, because it's not just that when we do this D&D, it's not like, okay, you come over for the one game, then we don't see you again. We want to make sure it's a friend someone that fits in and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he is. You finally met him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's been helping me out a lot of stuff with the computer. He's the one that figured out the RAM was gone and then did a diagnosis on my whole computer.
Yeah.
And you know, I've known him for ages. We used to work together and we used to do a lot of things. So he will be someone who will eventually end up playing D&D with us. But that's another thing too. I'm not a strong believer in inviting people to play D&D in a already existing group unless the people have gotten to know the person.
Yeah. Adding someone can be really hard for the group dynamic. Just because everyone already knows how this game is going to run before it starts.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we get curveballs thrown at us and we're like, oh my god, how do we deal with this? But we already know how the session's going to run. There's going to be X amount of shit talk and there's going to be X amount of play. As soon as you add someone unknown to that dynamic, it throws everything off.
Yeah, so
as long as you're all at least friends, you can kind of shit talk anyway.
Yeah. And you get to understand what that person's able to understand is a joke and not a joke and all this
I
other
love
stuff.
the idea of posh British gith, by the way. All gith are just posh British, 8 foot tall, super human-ish.
Well, you would know if you've actually just met Gith.
Yeah, well,
from the first campaign.
We never did it.
No.
Everyone died, and I just healed myself. It was fine.
So I'm a very strong believer of that, by the way, of making sure the players can fit. We've done it once, and it worked. And she has been a player ever since. It got to the point where people are forgetting how the hell they met her. She just appeared one day, and she was in every game like it just never happened. That's what Arthur said the other day. He forgot how he met her, how he met Kat.
Yeah.
And then he goes...
I also don't remember how I met Kat.
Exactly. It's like, I'll tell you, literally, she was watching a group called Outside Extra or Outside Xbox.
Oh, I love Outside Xbox. Oh my god, they're great.
Playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I think
and she messaged me.
Yeah.
She messaged me because we're friends. Again, another reason why more people play D&D is because like they know me and therefore meet everyone else.
Well, they know you and you run the game, so you're like, all right.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm pretty sure I can write you in. Let's go.
But then it got to a point where she messaged me. She's like, "Hey, you run D&D, don't you?" I'm like, "Yes." It's like when I invited you to play when the first session happened, and all that stuff. And she goes, "Yeah, can I play? I need friends." And I was like, "Yeah, you can play." And then she's playing for 3 years. She needed those friends.
Once again, I'm in that same boat though. I think I noticed it when we started talking about campaign 1, and we'll just going through. Oh yeah, so like this was happening, and we were talking about early game. I was like, yeah, Kat wasn't there for that. When did Kat even join the group? Like, I honestly don't even know at what point in campaign she joined.
You guys were in a tavern. You had beaten Father Torin.
It was after Torin, was it?
You were resting, and there was a cat resting by a fire pit, like a Devaxi, and also there was, and then early that morning, a big Goliath rocks through the door, and he orders himself some drinks.
Oh, we did meet them at the same time.
And then Cat got afraid of you guys, so she jumped on the Goliath's back around the neck and like hid away.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright, I vaguely remember that now.
And then she started...
That was early. That's earlier than I thought it was.
Pretty early.
Okay.
But it's not early enough for the game to be a brand new.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anyone have any like D&D questions they want to throw at us, or have any more stories they wish to tell for us? Because we're more than happy to read them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, and we're not just going to sit here in silence, which we would 100% do, you want to do it?
Wait, do what?
Sit in silence and stare at the camera until someone asks.
Oh, mate, we can do that.
Okay.
Well, class do you want to see each of your players try out the most? Well, you're the DM, so...
I actually have a fitted class for everybody.
Really?
As a DM, when you're playing so many campaigns with the players and you watch them play, jump through class after class after class, you actually end up knowing them, and then you actually end up picking the classes they would actually just be great at.
Alright, we'll start with me. What do you reckon?
For you, it's actually just straight up Sorcerer.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've already played a Sorcerer.
Yeah, but you didn't play it. You played it to my terms, not your terms.
It was kind of to my terms as well.
Yeah, but
I built that character to be exactly what he was.
Yes, you built the character to be...
That's fair though.
But it's just because it's a charismatic spellcaster that isn't a bard. Like, you can go, you've pissed me off, guess what? Bam.
It's also the fact that I always go on about subtle spell being my favorite.
But it's not just that too. It's like meta magic, so you can be tricky with it, you know? That's what you would be.
That's fair, okay.
You can name someone else, and I'd be able to tell you.
Well, Jordan asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan.
So you reckon Jordan? Okay. So Jordan is melee. That's all.
Yeah, 100%. He's never played a caster.
Yeah. The one class that I always see him playing, and that would be 100% him, is just a pure fighter.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the thing is that...
Because, again, that's the character that he played that we turned evil.
Exactly. The reason why I believe pure fighter is because all his, like I'm gonna smite, he'll do that all the time, but it just gives him free range to pick up a weapon and use it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, because you're proficient with everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I don't believe rogue is his way. Just because he didn't use a rogue exactly how a rogue would be. He used the swashbuckler, which is just another version of a fighter.
Yeah. So, it's the least roguey rogue, because you don't sneak.
He used it for the extra damage.
Yeah.
He literally thought about that. That's why I see like his characters being fighters.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Alright. How about the character that's not played anything but one class? Cat.
Cat? She's literally playing it.
You think she's just a rogue?
Rogue.
Yeah. Okay.
Because she does dumb things, but also likes to hide her way out of it.
Yeah.
Because
she does get really shy and go, okay, I want to be out of this situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
She always wants to find a way out of something.
Yep.
And if she wants help, she's going to find the most opportune way of doing it without putting herself just directly at risk.
Yep. Okay. Fair. Alright, Arthur.
What do you
think? Bard? Really?
Yeah.
Why Bard?
Because every character he plays ends up getting cocky. And when he starts to speak, he always does it in a trickster way. If you notice, that's the one characteristic that Sid, Sol, and Gale have, is that they love to have fun.
Yeah.
And the way they do it is by magic. Maybe it's like throwing your magical hammer or using...
Well, why does that say Bard to you?
Why does it say Bard? Because it's the way he is. I always said the way he speaks and presents himself.
Because it's charismatic?
Is charismatic to a Bard.
Okay.
If he played Bard instead of Druid, the character is 100 times different. Because he's technically just playing a Bard right now. Except he's just using Druid.
He's got Wild Shape, yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference. Because you could see
Which he's not even using proper Wild Shape.
He's done it twice.
Mostly.
But he's just using it for the extra thing. But he could go, here's Minor Illusion.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Here's all this stuff, you know? Always the whole hiding... I'm gonna do the Velcro trick, hiding my coins.
Yeah.
That type of stuff just screams, you are a Bard.
Okay, fair enough. Before we do this, let's move on to the next question before I lose it. How would you kill a PC that secretly wants to replace their character? However, they have made the party suffer so much they have pledged to resurrect him, so his pain is unending. So how would you kill off Bang? Let's put it that way. If he was like, okay, I'm done with Bang. Because that's the character that we would go to the ends of the earth to resurrect.
Oh, okay. It's kind of simple in a way. You have to make sure it makes sense to your story, or make it a story arc.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can make it a story arc to make it painful. For instance, let's say you talk to the player and you say, I need you to be fine until the end of this arc.
Okay.
Okay, play this character till the end of the arc.
Yep.
And then I had a weapon which was a scythe, and what the scythe did was that when it killed a player, it actually entrapped their soul into the scythe. The only way to get them out of that scythe was to break it. You could not even use a wish spell to get them back.
And it was an artifact.
It was an artifact.
Yeah.
So to break an artifact, you needed an artifact.
Yeah.
So, and then what I would do with that is then make it a whole quest of finding the artifact, finding the person that did it. So it becomes a redemption in terms of them getting their fill of, you killed this player, we're going to end you.
Yeah, okay.
And then what happens there is that you just make it like a big fight, all that stuff. And then, again, they didn't have an artifact.
Yeah.
You never present an artifact to them to do it. They can always carry the scythe around, and all it becomes is a soul-trapping weapon, but they're always carrying the spirit of that player.
Okay. I like that because you could just say, oh, the character's soul isn't willing to return. But I feel like that's just like a,
Yeah.
haha,
Yeah.
no.
And hi, Raiders, welcome to the Technical Difficulties podcast where we do D&D and sure does fuck up all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
I've missed so much. I tried to fit that one in there so that we wouldn't lose everything and then everything went.
How is the stream? I'm just trying to figure out because my computer is all the way on the other side of the room because our studio is flooding. So we are kind of on a timer, but it's kind of seemed to slow down a little bit. So yeah, I'm just trying to see who...
Monsters and Mayhem.
Monsters Mayhem. Awesome. I also love that name, by the way. It's a mad name. It was great. Thank you so much for asking. Hope your night is going well too. It is. It's getting late, but we do this all the time.
It's also going great because we've been keeping busy and not thinking about the fact that the studio is flooding.
Yeah, you actually rated at a good point, to the point where you've already missed the camera dying, and then me resetting it, you missed the mic getting cut out, you missed a lot. So
you missed all the difficulties. So you're getting the good parts where we're just talking to chat now.
Oh, water's still coming through our studio.
Yeah, 100%.
But we're still dealing with it.
But now that we're engaging with chat, we're not thinking about it so much. Jordan said that's funny. That's funny because he always thought that he'd be a ranger.
No. The reason why I don't see you being a ranger is because you're not great at half casting. Because you currently use your half casting to present smite. You would only use Hunter's Mark, and every other spell slot you had would be useless.
Would be more Hunter's Mark throughout the day.
Probably.
Lose concentration? Oh no, Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, we are down. We're actually west. We live in Australia. For those who don't know, we live in Sydney, and the worst part about it is the fact that this rain sucks.
Oh, so much though.
Yeah. So that's where we go. Yeah, I'm hoping it lets up too because I dealt with this during the last big flood, and this it flooded. What was it? 2 inches? 3 inches?
Yeah, something stupid.
Yeah, and the whole studio got flooded. And as we were pointing out at the start of the stream, this is a big studio. This room we're in is 5 meters by 5 meters, I'm pretty sure. I think a bit bigger. And then it has, like, you know, its own kitchen, its own bathroom, its own workshop, its own, like,
and the whole
storage
thing was
units.
flooded.
And the whole thing was flooded.
We've added messed up.
Yeah, so we've added precautionaries against it.
But it's not 100%.
No, because it's coming through the
wall itself, yeah.
Yeah, so just trying to make sure that, you know, it's all good and doesn't collapse in on us. If it does, you got it live.
Well, I mean, that would be the ultimate technical difficulty though, right?
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't be able to actually stream again until we, like, fixed it, because that would 100% take up all our time.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are keen to drop in, and I'm glad you guys are Aussies as well. It's nothing like that. I just love, you know, Australia.
We love
I guess.
us.
Yeah, we love us. But also, I'm hoping wherever you guys are, you are safe, and hopefully you're not getting affected by this rain or this flooding area. And yeah, that means it's quite late for you guys wherever you are. Yes, that's great. Everywhere. Yeah, no, it has not been great. But this actually happened. It started on Saturday, and my birthday party was on Saturday. It's the first birthday party I've had in over 10 years. Oh, no, second, because I did have one at friend Rob's house for D&D.
Yeah.
But Yeah, and then it decided to rain down.
It's
So-
the third year we've tried to set something up, and then we had lockdown.
Yeah,
Then we had lockdown, and then we had rain. But
Yeah.
we just went through. We
But-
persevered through the rain
yeah.
this time.
But to everybody who is new that had followed through with the stream, we are thank you. If you'd like, we have if everyone in the comments could do me a favor, just say happy birthday fishy in the comments for me. That'd be great. So if you guys don't know, and a lot of you are new here, we are a Dungeons and Dragons channel set in Australia that we run 2 different games of Dungeons and Dragons on Wednesdays and Fridays. Thank you. We run them on Wednesdays and Fridays. We run a podcast. We do building videos of showing you how to make a terrain. Because the one thing I found in Australia is that making terrain with the materials we have sucks. Like, so bad. So I found ways around it. I show people how to, if you can't afford it and you need to go to like what we call Spotlight or a dollar store or something to buy foam, I show you how to make it bog standard but kind of make it look great to what it can be. And then I show you how to build with stuff like XPS insulation foam that you could find in Australia, but the supplier is no longer doing it. So I have to find new places to get it and then tell everyone else where to get it.
Because at the moment we're relegated to buying blocks that are this big off of Amazon for
60
stupid
bucks.
amount.
$60.
Yeah.
So yeah, I show you how to do all that, and then showing you how to build stuff because a lot of us are ex-French polishers, so we show you how to build new tables for cheap and in dumb ways so everyone can know. Thank you for all the happy birthday fishies in the chat. Alrighty, it means a lot. And yeah,
we love you all.
we love you all.
We really do.
So this podcast is where we go on about just random things about Dungeons and Dragons. You share your stories. If you want to give us your monster creations, go for it. If you have a question that you want to ask us personally and what we think of said thing, ask us. So that way we can give our personal information about, not personal information, personal, what's the word?
Mate, I was reading the next comment. This is all you. I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying.
Okay, back to the topic. We need ideal classes for Rob, Dylan, Maddie, and Jacob. Okay,
So,
Rob already
rapid fire.
played it. Rob already played it. He played a gunslinger goblin, but he could just play any form of a monstrous race and it'll still be good as long as he gets to play him. But I do see him with guns being the most successful thing that he's going to do.
I do kind of agree with that,
Yeah.
actually.
He can play with a
giving
sword.
Rob a gun just sounds like a really bad idea, and so it's the most fantastic idea for him in D&D.
Yeah, exactly.
Period. Okay. All right. Rapid fire. Dylan, go.
So with Dylan's the one I actually see playing Ranger.
Ranger.
Yeah.
Okay. Why
Because
Ranger?
he's the one that takes the initiative. He's the one that's always doing the tracking
And wants to do
and
the planning.
do the planning
Yep.
and set up the traps.
Yep.
That's Dylan.
Okay. Yep. Maddie, go.
Dumb. No, sorry.
You're gonna get in so much trouble.
I am. I'm gonna get to bed, and if she's watched this, which she admits she doesn't, my own partner doesn't even watch this stuff. Like,
Don't worry, neither does mine.
it's great. We're in the same boat. So she would be 100% just a. It's hard because she could be a bard because she has the singing talent, but also I reckon she's a barbarian, 100%.
Just because she's got anger issues.
She 100%.
The anger issues that she's got in this campaign for Friday night, they're not put on. She actually looks at me in the break and goes, "I fucking hate you."
And then we go to Jacob, and not you, another
Other Jacob?
Jacob. We call him the quiet Jacob because he's loud.
As Dylan likes to say, there's Jacob and there's Jacob.
Yeah.
I'm the second one.
And that Jacob, his most ideal class that I would ever see him play, and I believe that this probably would be his most ideal class that I've ever seen him play,
Yep.
would just straight up be a paladin.
Paladin.
Yeah, he's always righteous and always wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But also he isn't too used to not being physically in combat.
Yeah.
And also does like to play with a bit of spells.
I think it also opens up him playing like the stereotypical like righteous paladin, which means that he has to be speaking out. And once you get him talking, he doesn't shut up.
It's fantastic.
So like, if he just starts the character off as this character talks a lot, he just won't shut up the whole campaign.
Literally,
he'll be great.
There's one scene that we did on our Friday group that it's been clipped. So if you want to go watch it, just enter our our Twitch, and you'll find it in clips. It's called "These Aren't My Pants," and it was so on time that it wasn't even funny, and I can't explain it.
None of this is scripted,
yeah.
But like that joke is the thing that you look at, and barring everyone's reactions, you would go, okay, that's the scripted bit. When you look at our reactions, you just see that it's not.
Yeah.
Because everyone died.
They were getting questioned for murder, and they were in hospital because they'd just been beaten up, so they just got stitched back together. And Zephyr, the Drow paladin, was talking to the guard because Drows are being hated currently in what's going on. And they're
actually
kind of
being like really serious and like
it's a full
getting
conversation.
somewhere.
And then what happened was that straight after it, like during mid conversation, there's a second of dead silence, and all you hear is Hex, the person that we're referring to, just go, "These aren't my pants." And the way he said it,
his voice too, like
and
his voice made it.
He literally just has a drink. These aren't my pants. But the way he said it was so low, and you just watch the person playing Zephyr die. And then you watch everyone else. You watch you die, and like I couldn't keep a straight face.
It's amazing. Spooky Dude, yes. Nilbog is absolutely the most creative name that Rob has ever come up with. But like even I didn't get it at first. He had to explain it to me as well. He showed me the whole name, so I don't think his last name's actually come up more than once, and it was like very, very short in the video. But yeah, Nilborg Bow, and it's just Hobgoblin. I didn't get it, and he showed it to me as Nilborg Bow written down.
Yeah.
Like,
read it backwards.
It was really good. It was really, really good.
But yeah, so that's how it'd be. Does anyone else have any questions? Did we skip past any?
We don't even need to have a thing called Pants Moment. It's literally just clipped, and we're all just saving the video so that it never dies. Oh, golden moments. Okay, yeah, gotcha. I didn't quite get to that comment yet.
Yeah. But yeah, so when it comes to fuck, we've spoken about a lot of things on this.
We have.
Another thing
are very off topic.
About like outside of everything in terms of studio production and stuff.
Back on topic.
Yes. This camera is not focusing well. I do not know why. It's probably lighting.
It comes in and out. It's fine.
Yeah. It's probably lighting doesn't help because we just literally took one of them and said, that will do.
And then it died.
Usually we have multiples looking in other directions, setting the correct lighting. But yeah, so when it comes to all that stuff as well, the new table getting built is 2 meters by 2 meters. It is big. It is really big. And the way that I'm designing the cutouts for it, the table's literally going to be in half, so it's easy to move around the place. And then we've got like the lighting. The lighting, literally, we have this in Australia. I don't know if people have this in America, but it's basically a budget-friendly place. It is something that just allows us to get off the ground. I'm going to grab one.
So, just going to point out, he's talking about the store Kmart, which is everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, so this is a 18-inch ring light that we have,
like a necklace.
We have multiples of, so that way it helps us with our lighting issues. We have downlights, but the thing is with downlights, they create too much shadow and stuff can't focus properly. Yeah. But to be honest, it currently doesn't focus properly now.
Yeah, so, I mean, we might as well just be using the downlights.
Sure, I'm going to put the downlights on.
Or you could just turn the ring light around, because it's usually not pointing directly at us. It's already focusing, I'm betting. Give me 2 seconds. Because the room looks better already. Actually, not really. It hasn't changed that much. The color looks better. We're on such a delay, I can't even tell you.
Nah, already looking. It's not working.
Nah, okay. Look, this just isn't gonna work, okay? We're just gonna leave it there.
It's raining. It is storming. My fucking studio is flooding.
Rob wants a presentation of your toilet paper water tiles.
Ah, okay. Another thing is that I get really creative sometimes, and sometimes I go to the bathroom, and I do a big one.
Only sometimes.
Every day. So story time for people that haven't ever seen this before. I was taking a shit. That's it.
Classic.
That's it. I went to flush the toilet, and there was a piece of toilet paper just on the side. It was clean. And when I pretty much went to flush it, all the blue water came down, and it went over the actual over the toilet paper, and it rippled it. And I'm just looking at it and go, that looks like water, like a water effect. I'm like, holy crap, that looks like a water effect.
What if I make it a water effect?
So I made something which I'll go get. Wrong.
The problem is going to be getting it to focus on the tile, though. Oh, there was no way that I was getting up to get the tile. He's standing right next to the hallway, so I was just going to make him stand up and get it when he finished his little bit.
Fuck.
He's breaking the storage room currently. I don't know if that audio came up. I really hope it did.
I found the first thing that didn't survive the full test.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I think he's breaking stuff.
Anyway, so focusing on me, I hope so. I created this water type. No, it's probably just not doing it well.
Oh, yeah, no. Put it downwards.
Okay, so
It gets away from the light.
this is toilet paper, but I actually added a varnish to it so it actually reflects light. That's why it goes real shiny when I do it. And when you do it like this, it allows it to actually be have the water effects. All I did was dark blue, followed by a bit of light blue, followed by white, and then obviously I would do some washes and stuff like that. But multiples of these together makes the ocean.
They heard you breaking everything in there.
Mad!
All I wanted.
I'm
All of this talk of toilet paper, and now he decides that he wants to leave and go to the bathroom. So, yeah, you're stuck with me again. Apparently I read an original question by Jordan wrong. So we'll say it again. What class are you most interested in seeing each of the players using? I guess he answered that, though, because he wants us to see these classes that we haven't played for most of us. Or actually some of us, probably about half of us, because he wants to see the both of us not play that class as an evil character that's kind of pigeonholed into being as such, and he wants to see Kat get better at the class in general. I don't know.
She's getting better at D&D in general.
Am I right in that though?
What?
That's how what you want. What our class that you think is our calling is what you want us to play.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
If I wanted to see you guys play the most optimal thing that I believe that you would have the most fun with, would be that.
Alright, so is there a class for us that you don't think is going to be our best class, but you want to watch us try to do it? I'm going to take that as a follow-up question, because I feel like he did answer the question. He just didn't give you the answer that you wanted.
So, classes you guys haven't played that I want you to play. To test out and see how you go with it. That one would be quite different. So...
Alright, let's rapid fire it though. Me?
Paladin.
Dylan?
Cleric.
Maddie?
Wizard.
Wow. Other Jacob?
Other Jacob. Ranger, actually.
Jordan?
Sorcerer.
Arthur?
Actually, can I count? Yeah, I can count Sorcerer.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Wait, so Arthur was Sorcerer?
No, that's Jordan.
Okay, so Jordan Sorcerer, Arthur?
Rogue.
Cat?
Cat. She played Barbarian in your game. So, probably. Oh no, she played Warlock. Probably Fighter.
And Rob?
Rob. Warlock.
Warlock?
Like proper Warlock.
I'd kind of like to see him play a Druid.
I've seen him play Druid.
Okay.
I played Druid for 4 years.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Yeah.
There you go. You got the answer that maybe you wanted, or maybe you didn't want it because he didn't tell you to play a Ranger. Is Blake going to level up in CFD's one shot? Probably not. The CFD one shot has to be postponed, probably for at least a while because it's been packed away, and so we don't have access to it.
He's moving.
Yeah.
So we just we're gonna take our time. That's why we're doing a pretty much level 20 battle royale.
Also, is there such thing as leveling up in the Sea of Thieves game? I don't think that there is. You just get a couple of extra dice, as far as I could tell.
Yes, Alphadis was a druid. That's why I said I saw you play it for 4 years.
Yeah, but I wasn't in those games. That's why I was like, I'd like to see him play a druid. Oh, okay. You know what I'd like to see Rob play? I'd like to see him try and play the Zealous Paladin. The one that's like, this is the way things have to be. I want to see him try and stay on track.
It's not gonna happen.
I know, but that's why I want to see it.
Session 3 he becomes a fucking oathbreaker. And that's being kind. Does anyone have any like production questions on like anything like that? What mics we use, or why do we do something a certain way? For those who are new, do you have any questions on what the do we actually do?
I love it how we swear the whole time, and you're just like, what the.
Sometimes, yeah, I do it sometimes.
It's only fuck that you won't say for some reason.
Penis.
See, it's only fuck.
Penis is a biological part. You got it there. It's in the shorts.
Yeah.
Jen, we also started this podcast. We started this podcast late. We were meant to start it at 8:30, but
we had to record the upkeep.
not just that. Studios also.
We also had flooding issues.
Yeah.
We also had to move the entire section around the flooding issues.
Yeah. So yeah, we
Just
started.
everything
We
was
started
wrong.
an hour and a half later than we usually did. But we are at that time where I think we need to start wrapping it up.
So that we can go and deal with the flooding issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been nice not thinking about them for a little bit, but while I'm still here, we should probably fix that.
Alrighty. Does anyone have any suggestions who we want to raid, or should we just raid a small D&D group? Someone who has almost no views, and then give them a bit of loving, sharing it around the community. What do you reckon?
That is our general way of doing things, and I am always a
So if someone doesn't have anyone they want us to raid, we're going to go raid someone small. And I would love all of you to actually be in there for the initial raid if you could, just to give them some confident boost. Everyone loves it when they get raided and they feel a bit special. And especially for smaller groups where they don't feel like they're getting anyone really watching them, they thoroughly enjoy it and it pushes them and motivates them.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what we want to do for people. Like, we've had a couple of raids come in ourselves, and every time they do, it feels great.
yeah. So let's do it.
Sharing that love.
Alright, I'm going to piss off and I'm gonna go do it.
Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna find someone.
And for the moment, I'm going to stare at the camera until someone says something.
Fuck.
In chat. Fuck, Blue said something. Literally something. I wasn't specific enough. I don't know. You were the one that was complaining that Jordan asked a question at the start. Why was it you that broke it? Play the intro before you raid. That was Rob. He just wants to see it again. What's that behind me? The wall, or do you mean this thing? I'm a hypocrite. Hey, you said it, not me. Okay, we just playing fuck with Jacob at the moment, I think. That's fair enough. I'm way too tired to get when you're starting that shit at the moment, so you can probably get me another 3 times. Until he raids, and I just disappear. Do a backflip. Bro, I used to be able to do a backflip. I haven't done it in a long time and I'd probably kill myself. It would not be fun. Oh, we've gone to good stream quality apparently. All it took was you standing up.
Alright, we found somebody.
Okay, so we found someone to raid. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your comments and engaging with chat with us in chat. We stream our podcast being pushed back from 8:30 every week, it seems, at this point. On a Monday, we stream 8:30 Wednesdays and Fridays for D&D. This week, we are probably taking a week hiatus just to get the flooding under control. You can catch M_Blazer when he streams, whenever he's deciding to do that. I think he said something about Thursday. And the Chosen Dolan, who doesn't currently have a schedule at the moment, but he is planning on getting back to it. Thanks for being here, and see you later.
Bye.
Over a century ago, a demon lord from the Nine Hells rained terror upon the world of Astraven in an attempt to create a 10th layer of hell, until an unlikely group of adventurers made a choice to stand in his way and defy his will. But not all was saved. A once simple way of life destroyed by his ambition, and the drowned, hated by everyone for their part in the terror that happened a century ago. The world left scarred, races divided. The world has new threats, and I guess you could say, a new story.
I promise we're leaving.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We're staying here forever.
Bye.